Telkom, one of the big companies, and we've been looking forward to this all week, reported full-year results today. 73% decline in headline earnings per share to 87 cents, and revenue is down by 1.7% to 32.5 billion rand. Telecom's company has also agreed to a 200 million rand internet fine for price fixing. And we spoke to Telkom CEO Sipho Maseko for more.
We've had a lot of complex and difficult issues. We've sorted out the impairment. We've sorted out competition commission issues. We now need to focus on the recovery of the performance of the business. And it will take a bit of time. The issues that we need to deal with are intractable, but necessary. We need to deal with our cost issues. We need to deal with customer service. It needs to be different now to interact with Telkom. You want to make it easy for you to interact with it. And obviously want to focus on returns. We've invested a lot of capital. We need to make sure that every bit of asset that we've put on the ground generates the return that is satisfactory to shareholders. So it's going to be a busy time for us, but we are aware that we've disappointed our owners for a while, who own shares in the firm. So necessary that we begin to create a step change in that performance so that we can give them the returns that they require.
You're speaking about returns, and a lot of analysts, when they look at your balance sheets, and I've looked at it over the past couple of years, not much has changed except now it's 12 billion rand less. Is there still value in Telkom, would you say?
The future will swing in balance towards fixed line operators. I think as data growth and consumption increases, if you have fixed line, you will be a better participant. You just need to look at what's happening in Europe, where mobile players are looking to acquire fixed line operators.
I'd like to touch on an issue that I think a lot of people have said is controversial, and that's regarding government involvement. A lot of people say that this could be a bit of a hindrance, and can you actually make decisions that are independent of government involvement, taking into account the KT deal that didn't go through? Are decisions going to be made differently this time around?
No, sure, and I mean, it's a pity that the government have kind of got a bit of bad press around this. Ever since I've been there, I have not been interfered with. Actually, we've had good access. We've met with the ministers from different portfolios. We've had very good conversations. I didn't feel constrained to take the impairment decision, for instance. It's a big decision. And the appropriate thing for any government to do is that it needs to have an authentic discussion with you about what their concerns are. But equally, the appropriate thing for any management to do is to have an authentic discussion with government about what it needs to do. And so far, actually, we've had a very, very good interaction, very good qualitative interaction. I think that we've been treated very professionally, the chairman, myself, and my team.
Now, it seems as though there's no industry in South Africa at the moment that is immune to labour issues. Sure. I mentioned a bulk of your costs for some were from the severance packages and so forth. Sure. Then you had meetings with the CCMA, I think, last week or the beginning of this week, if I'm not mistaken. What's happening on the labour front there? Sure.
I mean, currently we are in negotiations with our trade unions, all three of them. We have an offer that we put in front of them. I think the negotiations are continuing. We are hopeful that the offer that we've put on the table will be accepted so that we can move forward. The environment that we are operating in is very tough. The financial performance of the firm is currently very challenged. We also recognize that in such a negative environment, we need to make sure that we are sensible and sensitive in terms of how we just deal with wage increment issues.
I just want to touch back on the strategy. You're going to have a revised business strategy at the moment.
Sure.
There have been rumblings about, what we could see at the end as Telkom basically just becoming a vessel where you could be maybe freeing up the spectrum a little bit more, allowing space for players such as MTN and Vodacom to come in. I mean, is that something that you would be looking at?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we're reviewing the strategy, all right? And we're looking at all of the assets that we currently have and how we can generate value from all of those assets. Some of them, we will sell them, like some of the properties that we have. They're valuable. We probably don't need them anymore. they might be worth more to a hotel owner than to us. So we'll do that. We'll apply the same principle for the investments that we might have, for some of the assets that we might be owning outside of South Africa. But certainly those assets that are valuable to us and will be valuable to us in the future, certainly won't be looking to flog that off. In the end, like I said, we are probably the best placed people to create and run an integrated network, both mobile and fixed.